Hi, everyone. Black and Making It here with Ayvaunn Penn, bringing you an interview with one of Disney's freshest young faces, none other than the Izabela Rose. Izabela stars in Disney Channel's new original film, The Curious Case of Dolphin Bay, which is also streaming on Hulu. She has also starred in Disney's Secrets of Sulphur Springs and played the lead in Disney's film Upside Down Magic. Izabela, thank you so much for talking with Black and Making It today. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, it's our honor and our pleasure. And let's just dive right in. Okay. So you've accomplished so much at such a young age, 15, correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So congratulations on all of your accomplishments. How did you start your career in television and film?
Well, thank you so much for the great of a compliment. It means a lot to me. Actually, so I started out in pageants at the age of about 6 months old, which is very,
Oh,
very young.
wow.
Yeah, my mommy was actually Miss New York. So I come from a long pageant, background. So, my mommy had a baby girl. She was like, "Oh, I'm putting her in pageants." So when
Yes.
I when I was about 9 years old, my mommy and my poppy, they always grew me up, and my brother's watching, the old Hollywood icons and starlets that came before, the actors and actresses we look up to now. And so I guess it was no thought of me becoming an actress. They just wanted me to know. And I was watching The Little Princess, the 1939 version with Shirley Temple, and something just clicked. I told my mommy that I wanted to be exactly like Shirley Temple. I wanted to make people forget about like anything that's going on in their life when they watch my films. And so I remember, long story short, I did a lot of like research on YouTube, how to become an actress. And I looked up a bunch of agents and managements, and I came to my mommy and I was like, I want to go to LA. And she was like, well, if you get good grades, right? If you get good grades, we'll go to LA for 1 week. And so I come back and it's like a month later and I got good grades. And I got actually on the honor rolls list, and I got I think it was a note signed by the president at the time. And yeah, so I was definitely dedicated. And long story short, after a very long discussion, we ended up moving out there, and now I'm here.
Wow, that's a blessing to have a family supportive enough to say, yes, we're going to book it to LA. So that's amazing. And so what would you say to other young people? Black and Making It is, I'm a theater educator. I've done my degrees in theater. I've, worked in Chicago, New York, and so forth and so on. And now I teach. And Black and Making It, I started in grad school, but it's really focuses on excellence in art and education. So I love that your mom said, yeah, okay, if you have good grades, then we'll
Right.
go. um,
Education first. That's what she always says.
Education first. So that being said, for other young folks who are thinking like I think I want to get into this, what would you say to them? What tips, what would be your best wisdom nugget to them?
Yes. Well, with the platform that I've been given, especially that I am a young Black actress and a young Black woman, I just say that one of my biggest things is that, and my mom even tells me that one of her, like, even when I got the platform that I was blessed to be given, she said that your job, and I know it's a big responsibility, but your job is to be representation for other Black and brown kids that want to do exactly what you want to do, or want to do whatever they do, whatever they want to do. And just to know that it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what your background is, as long as you know that you are supposed to be doing it and you believe in yourself. It's a mindset at the end of the day. So that would be my biggest lesson, is that, or biggest advice that I even am still trying to learn and trying to do, is just to believe in yourself. Because how do you expect other people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself?
Amen. I'm getting inspired, Izabela.
Thank you.
Yes, your mom sounds a lot like my mom. It's the world needs, everyone needs a mom like that. So you're very blessed for that. Um, what do you love most? You kind of touched on this when you talked about watching some of the old school Hollywood films with mom and dad, but I'll go ahead and ask this. What do you love most about telling stories through the mediums of television and film?
Well, I think that's, as an actress, one of your biggest goals and one of your biggest goals when you decide to do. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I have a
It's
coming
okay.
FaceTime call coming in. But one of your biggest your goals as an actress is to be able to tell these stories and be able to tell them right. And I hope with all the work that I do I hope I do my best to tell these stories and to tell, because people obviously put so much hard work into these scripts. I got to see firsthand with shadow producing on The Curious Case of Dolphin Bay and seeing how much hard work everyone puts in it. And so for me, one of the most important things is for me to tell the story as real as possible as I can.
Hmm. Well, your answer is the perfect segue into one of my next questions, and that's I did notice in your bio and all the wonderful information that I received for you that in addition to acting, you're interested in producing and directing, and that you did have the opportunity to do that, shadow produce and direct on The Curious Case of Dolphin Bay and even some of your other works. So, first, what was that experience like?
It was such an amazing experience. I got to learn so much. And, shadow producing has been one of the things I've been wanting to do ever since filming Upside Down Magic. I actually got introduced to shadow producing by this wonderful lady. Her name is Suzanne Farewell. She's a producer, and she was the producer for Upside Down Magic at that time.
Mhm.
And she basically introduced me to shadow producing because I told her that I wanted to become a producer. And so when I got the opportunity for Quinn, we asked the production if I could shadow produce on this project. And thank God they said yes. And so I just have to say, I just have to put a big shout out to the crew and the production and, our amazing director, Christine, and our amazing producers for just really giving me the opportunity to do this and taking me under their wing and teaching me as much as they possibly could in the short time we were filming the movie, which was 3 weeks and 1 week of post-production.
Yes. So, well, one, it's really great to see a young person such as yourself interested in that aspect of TV, film, theater. It applies in the world of theater as well. Very often, young folks approach the industry as oh, I want to be the person on stage, which is fun, but it's also really wonderful and beautiful to have a hand in and know the inner workings of what it takes to get the work up. And then it gives you leverage and agency to go out and produce your own work. So that goes on to my next question here. What is your dream show, or what content is your dream content to produce and direct?
To be honest, I actually I've thought about this a couple times, and I honestly just whatever inspires me, to be honest.
Mhm.
I don't think I have a certain like genre that I'm like, oh, I want to do this only. I think it's whatever inspires me at the moment. Because, again, going back to the other question you said with telling stories, I want to make sure anything I put out there is as real as possible and as grounded as possible. And so when I do get, little inklings of inspiration from somewhere, I definitely try to write it down and try to, because I know that I always say that I try to write for myself because there's going to be certain people that understand what I'm going through or that understand the story. Maybe not
Mhm.
everyone will, but I know I'm not the only one that understands the story. And so I guess I would say whatever inspires me at the moment. I try. That's really what I guess the work I produce is whatever inspires me at the moment.
Ooh, inspiration is key. As a theater artist, I primarily identify in this order as playwright, director, actor. So I am totally in tune with and in sync with the idea of the creative wave and riding it when it comes. As creatives, sometimes we have to push, even if we don't necessarily feel inspired. But I totally respect your answer of I want to produce what inspires me, because that's what people want to watch. That's when the art is good, is when those inspirational creative juices are flowing. So now let's segue into this. Since Black and Making It is about art and education, and you've talked about the importance of education in your family, and you speak of your passions of producing, directing, acting too. Multi-hyphenate artist, yes. Do you see yourself continuing your education and doing like a graduate degree or undergraduate degree in any number of these areas?
Oh, yes, of course, of course. I think shadow producing on this project really light up a fire in me. And it's definitely something I fell in love with. It's something that I definitely want to do in the near future. With the education part, I definitely do want to go to college for theater and in the arts. So hopefully I can hope and pray that that happens, but I'm just trying my best and, in the moment. I think it's important to take it day by day, especially when you want to do so many things at once. I have to always remind myself that, Izabela, you got to take it day by day. You got to take it day by day.
Absolutely. Very important motto to live by. Do you have a dream school in mind?
Yes, I do actually, which I have not said this out in public yet, but I want to go to Yale. That's one of my schools. Yale, I would like to go to. Yeah, I know, right? Who wouldn't want to go to Yale? But I think that's one of my top right now. That's the top college that I want to go to.
Well, we have so many great artists who come out of the Yale School of Drama. And I don't know if you heard, but one of their recent classes got full tuition paid by, I think, like an anonymous donor or something. Yeah, like, where were y'all when I was going through grad school?
Right, exactly. No, please come when I'm going through grad school.
Right. But short little, I can't hold back the educator in me. Fun fact. So I did my terminal degree in playwriting at Columbia University. And one of my fellow graduates in the MFA theater program, graduated with his degree in law and producing at the same time. So yes, focus is good. But I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know how he lived life for those 3 years, but there's nothing wrong with focused energy that's in maybe 2 places. Efficiency is always great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, well, I'm rooting for you, girl. So on back to Dolphin Bay. So this was shot in Australia. Was that your first time shooting out of the country?
Yes, well, not out of the country because we did shoot Upside Down Magic in Canada.
Okay.
But this was my first time ever visiting Australia. And let me tell you, it was such an amazing experience. It's such a beautiful place. I keep on telling everyone that watches the film, you're going to want to at least visit Australia after watching, because luckily, we were filming it in their summertime. So it was actually here where I live, it was our wintertime. It was, our wintertime, but there it was summertime. And so, we got to have like the beautiful locations, but I just say that we got to really do so much in the time that we were there, which I did not think we were going to do. And I definitely have to say thank you to the cast and the crew, because anytime that we had days off, they would literally say, Izabela, we got to take you to, go touch koalas, go hold a koala. We got to take you to some memorable things that you only can do in Australia. Right. And so they were so wonderful at doing that. But one of my big things was that we just filmed in such beautiful locations. And I just can't wait for anyone that hasn't seen the movie for them to see the highlights of Australia.
Absolutely. So you've kind of answered some of my next questions. You talked about the fun little adventures you got to do when you guys weren't on set. But what did you have a favorite part of being in Australia?
Just one? That's kind of hard.
Your number one out of all the amazingness, what would be your top one?
Ooh, okay, maybe. Okay, first of all, hanging out with everyone was amazing. I loved hanging out with everyone. We grew such a great connection in the few weeks we were filming together, which is so important, especially when you are playing best friends in a movie, or when you are, you have a really close connection in a movie. It helps a lot, and it makes the job way more easier when you actually have a good connection in real life with these people. And, I made such long time friendships with everyone. But I will say one of the things that I never got to do that I got to do in Australia was snorkeling. I had never gotten to snorkel before. And so in the snorkeling scenes that you see in the movie, that's actually me and Jaden swimming.
But authentic.
Yes, authentic. Yes, exactly. But it was such an amazing experience to snorkel. We got to do one scene, actually a couple scenes we got to do in this big tank at SeaWorld. And it was filled with all different kinds of species of sea life. And I will tell you, we have some hilarious stories from there. But it was such an amazing experience. It's something you can only experience once in a lifetime.
You got me thinking I need to book my trip to Australia.
Yes, do it.
Okay, so now let's see what else I have here. I've got to choose wisely because I know our time is moving forward as only time does. Let's see here. You talk about preparing for the role as well. You talk about building relationships with the cast, but also that you immersed yourself in learning about the ecosystem of our oceans and learning about the impacts of pollution and whatnot on the Great Barrier Reefs and climate change. So, what were some of the things that you learned, and how did those bits of knowledge influence and aid you in your portrayal of the character of Quinn?
Yeah, well, Quinn, she is definitely, there was some things that were way different from me and her, and some things that were very similar. One thing is that she almost knows everything about the ocean. And while I think the ocean is beautiful, like anyone does, I don't know everything about the ocean. So in preparation for the role, I actually bought this really, really great book that I would recommend to anyone that wants to learn about the ocean. It's called Ocean Anatomy. And I'm more of a visual learner. And so I may sound like a 5-year-old when I say this, but it had pictures in it. So it was more, I understood it way more better. But that's one of the things that I did in preparation for the role. I got to learn so much about how important our coral reefs are to not only sea life, but to human life as well, and how endangered they are. I got to learn that, just by 2% above average in the coral reefs will affect the coral reefs and make it that the sea life, it starts fleeting, right? Because the corals are bleaching. So I think one of the that me and Christine, actually the director of the project, we talked about one day, is that one of the big messages in this movie is to let people know that, that coral reefs are endangered. And just by picking up trash that you see on the beach, just by picking up that little actions like that make a big change, such a big change. So I would definitely say, I just, just think twice before throwing something on the floor, or to think twice before, saying, oh, I don't have to pick that up. No, pick it up, because it makes a really big difference.
Izabela said, pick it up.
Yes, pick it up.
Yes. And on that note, one of my areas of specialty as a writer and theater artist is theater for social change and theater for social justice. And you speak of Dolphin Bay, nickname, that's my short nickname for it, as being a piece that helps to raise awareness. So I pose this question to you. Do you feel that storytelling, whether through TV, film, theater, or any medium, is an effective way to address important social issues and raise awareness about things that we need to collectively think about as a society?
Oh, 100%. And I think as, as technology is involved, oh my gosh, I totally forgot the word. Oh my gosh, I can't say it, but
Evolve.
evolving. As it, I think it's becoming even more of a thing that we're starting to shine light on important issues that are going on in the world through movies and through storytelling. Something I love about my generation is that we're using the platforms that we have been given to use our voice, to speak about the things that we feel strongly about. And so one of the things that I always say is, with my platform, I try to make it, I use this word a bunch of times in here, but try to make it as grounded as possible and try to speak about the things that are important to me and I feel deeply passionate about. And so, with storytelling, that's one of the things that you get to do, which I absolutely love.
All right. So bringing it home with our last two questions before we wrap things up, I always ask everyone, what does Black in Making It mean to you?
Yes. Well, as a young Black woman in the industry, I think we have a long way to go for sure. But I think that I think we have so many people that are speaking out on, again, on the issues that we feel that need to be speaked out on, or they need to be shined a light on. And so I just say, as a, Afro Latina and that is half Hispanic and half Black, to you, again, I'm just trying to do the best to use my platform to, to just inspire. Well, I keep on saying this, but it's one of the biggest things that I try to do, to inspire other Black and brown children that think they can't do this, or think that, just because what they come from, they it's going to interfere. No, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Trust me, because the 10-year-old Izabela that literally I came from pageants. That's all. I didn't know anything about the industry. My family had nothing to do with the industry. The only thing I had was believing in myself, really.
Yes. So key, believing in yourself. Because as you said earlier, you have to believe in yourself first before anyone else will. So lastly here, I think I can throw this one in real quick before we officially wrap up. Do you ever see, as a theater artist like us, do you ever see yourself performing on Broadway?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked this. I would love to. It's one of my dreams. I literally, okay. So I again, like I told you, I absolutely am enthralled with everything old Hollywood. I love learning about just the classical starlets and in the golden age of Hollywood and how the studios were run. And one of my biggest one of the biggest people that I inspire to that inspire me a lot is Judy Garland. And of course, everyone knows that she started as, she's a vaudeville baby. And so I want to so bad. So hopefully you'll see me in some theater soon. Hopefully you'll see me.
Yes. And then I can come interview you again.
Yes, please. I think theater is I respect it so much because you have to look at it, there's not a lot of people that can get on stage and make people believe in their story and be interested in their story without stopping. There's not a lot of people at all. And so when I see theater people, or when I hear about theater stories, or anyone that's in theater, I give them just so much props, because you guys are so talented. For you guys to not, y'all, it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different world, I believe, from acting. So I would love to do it just to know about it, just to learn about it, and just to, kind of enthrall myself into that, because I think it would help me a lot with, on-screen acting.
Well, speaking for the thespians, you can come join us anytime.
Thank you. I have your respect.
Yes. Fun fact earlier today. Have you heard about A Strange Loop? That was a big Tony Award winning show on Broadway this season. But Michael R. Jackson is the book writer, lyric writer, and composer behind that musical. And we were just talking to him, me and one of my musical theater students, we were talking with him this morning. So it's been a great day here at Black and Making It, a little theater over here, a little TV film over there.
I love it.
Yes, we will definitely catch you on the next go round. So bringing things officially to a close. So how can viewers continue to follow you in your amazing work? And just, do you have any other last things you want to share before we go?
Yes, well, make sure you go check out The Curious Case of Dolphin Bay. That's the least you can do. we filmed it. We filmed in three weeks and 1 week of post-production. But seriously, it's such a great film. It's such a great summer movie. There's just so many. It's a thrilling, exciting, mysterious adventure. There's some very heartfelt messages and moments in this movie that I think people are going to fall in love with. And I have some very exciting projects that I can't speak too much about right now, but to stay tuned with everything I'm doing, you can follow me on all social medias at I am Izabela Rose.
Your name is also so amazing too.
Thank you.
It just has such a ring. I am Izabela Rose.
Thank you.
Yes.
There's a funny story to that too.
Okay.
I won't get into it, but basically what happened was my grandma on my poppy side, her middle name is Izabela. I don't know. Yeah, Izabela. And so my original name they wanted to name me was Rose, which was going to be my first name, because my mommy always promised my grandma, my great grandma, her great name is Grandma Rose. We call her that. And so she always promised that she would, the first baby girl that she had, she would name her off of my Grandma Rose. So my first name was going to be Rose. But my poppy didn't like, I guess there was something that happened with Rose or something like that he was like, no, I don't want to name her Rose. So basically my whole name is off of my two grandmas, which is pretty awesome.
That's so beautiful. Random fun fact, me, my mom, and my grandmother all have the same middle name. So that's really, really fun. I won't get into that either because it's not about me. Thank you so much.
I'll have to hear about it later because I'm interested.
Later. Thank you so much for sharing your time, Izabela Rose with Black and Making It. Y'all be sure to follow Izabela and her amazing work. Go see The Curious Case of Dolphin Bay, whether on Disney Channel or on Hulu. And you guys know how to follow her. One more time on the social media handles.
I am Izabela Rose. You can follow me on all social medias.
Right. And you guys be sure to also swing through and subscribe to blackandmakingit.tv.com, where I bring you content, all things Black excellence in art and education. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next time.